Alright guys, today I'm going to be sharing with you some new sage walls that I've been using in my games. But before we get into it, if you are part of the 95% of people watching this video who aren't subscribed and are interested in Valorant content like this, then consider hitting the subscribe button. So before we get too far into the video, I do want to say that because this game is obviously still in beta, they're updating quite often. So by the time you're watching this, a couple of these might not even work anymore, which is the case with a couple of the walls that I currently have shown you guys. So I will keep making videos to update you guys about what's been patched and what's new in terms of good sage wall placements. So the first wall here on Bind is one that is definitely more common, however I do still think it is worth using once or twice, and it's going to be at this window here. And basically what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to pull out your wall, keep it horizontal like this, and you're going to want to jump on the wall, stand and look straight down in the middle of the wall, place it, and you have a good path to see anyone coming out of garden or long beat. You can also use it as a peek into hookah. Now it's obviously not as good because anyone in hookah will be looking up here, but it's still pretty good for peeking out here like this to catch people off guard, and if you need to, you can always fall back like this and you have the whole part of hookah completely covered. Now a couple things to note with this wall is that you used to actually be able to place the wall like this vertically, but they actually changed the way the wall works and it'll cut off these end pieces, which won't give you nearly as good of an angle to shoot from. So the way to avoid that is making sure you're standing like in the window underneath this part because it's the most open and it won't break the wall, and you have to place the wall horizontal like this to get all 4 pieces of the wall. Now a quick update to my last Sage Walls videos, they actually patched this one-way wall. Unfortunately, I loved this wall. This is probably the one I used the most on this map, but they removed the part of the box that it was clipping on, so it doesn't work anymore. Feels bad, man. Now the second bind wall I have for you guys is actually a super good defensive wall that I would say regularly use, a couple times a game even, because there's not really that much they can do about it. And it's basically just putting a wall right here diagonally like this to block the doorway. There's no gap you can be shot through or anything like that, and it's a boost to get onto this corner as well. This is not something that people will normally check all the way up here. Like they might check this, they might check that, whatever, but normally they don't check up here. So it's pretty easy to secure a kill or two if you're sitting up here and they rush out of showers. Now, like I said guys, they're constantly updating this game and changing the way the game works and the way the maps are. So unfortunately, I actually had a one-way here, but they patched it. So that'll be a common occurrence throughout the beta. So moving on to Haven, got some more bad news for you guys. Unfortunately, as you can see, there is no longer a gap here to peek through. So this wall no longer works, unfortunately. Seems like Riot is trying really hard to get rid of these gimmicky one-way spots. Even if they do get found, you can't really expect them to last more than a patch or two at this point. So like I said, there's not really any crazy new wall spot or anything, but these are walls that I do regularly use that I think if you guys use as well, then it'll help secure some more rounds, secure some more games. And the first one I have for you guys on Haven is actually super good for attacking side, if you're going A site. So if you're going to A site, your team's committed or whatever, you've cleared up long, you're pushing up, you're making your way to the site, you clear your angles or whatever, and you can place a wall horizontally, perfectly into Heaven window, completely blocking it out, no gaps at all, super easy to place. And you can place it all the way from back here. So as soon as you clear your corners here, you can actually place the wall. Normally there's only one person that plays Heaven, so it'll take them like at least a clip and a half of full spraying at the wall to even break it and make a gap to shoot through or jump out of or whatever. And by that time your team should have good CT control over here and good sight control in general. That is actually probably my personal favorite wall on this map because it is one that you can use just any single time that you go A site and there's nothing they can do about it. Now for defending A site, got a super basic wall here for you guys. It's really just to close this gap right here between these two sets of boxes. Placing the wall like this completely blocks off anyone rushing short A, and it also allows you to boost on top of this box And if you really want to, you can come all the way over to this box as well. And these angles are good for peeking like this. You can also peek long like this. Just get information. Now it's obviously really good if you already know the enemies are rushing and you put up the wall and peek it like this. You can also obviously peek from back here, some sort of angle they won't expect. But yeah, that wall is really good for holding off people until your team can rotate, especially if you're getting rushed. You can easily trade out 1 or 2 kills. Now finally, my last one for Haven. I'm sure you guys saw in my recent video showcasing some of these wall boosts that I actually use in real games, but it's for this gap right here. And once again, it's another super basic defensive wall that allows you to get on top of here, and you can play some angles that people might not expect. Obviously, if you do it multiple times in a game, people will start clearing the corners like this, even up here. But yeah, I mean, I can use it easily once or twice a game on Haven, and people generally don't expect to have to clear angles like this. There's 2 outside garage. 3. Nice. This wall is so fucking good. So last up in the rotation is Split, and I'm sure a couple of you might have seen this wall. However, I still think it is a great wall if you want to play a little more aggressive on defensive side. All you have to do is come to this spot right here, look down, look straight down, pulling out your wall normally, and you can come all the way to this edge here and see people going for the cross from bottom of the ramp here to heaven, or even anyone down here. People don't expect to have to clear an angle like this, and even if you don't get a kill, it's great for just getting information in general, seeing how many people cross and seeing how many people are pushing up long or whatever. So guys, I know these walls are not as good as the other ones in terms of one-ways or cheeky spots or anything, but that's because Riot doesn't really want gimmicky wall spots in their game. They don't want gimmicky stuff like one-ways to exist. It just generally leads to too much of an advantage to the person who places the one-way. But regardless of what gets patched or not, I'll keep sharing with you guys walls that I find that I think you can use in your own games to win more rounds and win more games.